Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back into the Bears Den NFL podcast with the Chicago Bears First Focus. I'm your host, Alex. Today I'm here to discuss the Bears taking one step in the correct direction and firing offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Pretty eventful day at Hallis Hall. Um, Offensive coordinator getting launched in the middle of the season is pretty interesting. And it was one of many things that needed to happen, right? So I'm happy in the fact that the Bears were able to evaluate that Shane was not working. And I think that, I spent all last night basically watching the film for the Patriots game. And while I do think that play design wise, it's actually not terrible what Shane Waldron does. I think he designs some decent plays. The problem is when he calls the plays and the coaching and the effort of the players. So there's a lot of times where he has some pretty solid designed plays, but they don't work when he calls them due to whether it's the defense that's lined up or the down and distance that they're in, or it's the personnel usage that they're in. For example, one of the things that I notice a lot in the film is he is using players incorrectly. He will use, say, Keenan Allen on a certain play on a clear out route, on a deep clear out route, where you want someone with speed to kind of draw defenders out of there so that someone underneath can get the ball. You would think that we would be using either DJ Moore or preferably Roma Dunde on the deeper routes, who has the speed and if he were to get the ball can make the jump contested catches. Not saying that Keenan Allen cannot, but you want someone with speed to do that. And then Keenan Allen, obviously, one of his biggest strengths is he can get open, extremely well underneath, right? So things like that are the issue with Shane Waldron. And of course, I'm never happy when someone gets fired. It is a human being. It is someone losing their job. But these guys get paid millions of dollars. This is the way the business goes. And if you're not doing your job correctly and the wins aren't coming, you're going to get fired. So I give the Bears credit. I give Matty Bafus credit and Ryan Poles credit for moving off of him when things were clearly not working and the offense hasn't scored a touchdown in 2.5 games, right? So that's a problem. So took a step in the right direction there. But I called this actually this Sunday after the game. And I will throw a picture of the tweet up that I posted. If you're not following me on Twitter, go ahead on over there and follow me. Tweeting all about the Bears all the time. And I said that after the game, Matty Bafus was going to speed over to Hallis Hall and he was going to try and get rid of Shane Waldron, because if he's able to convince Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, McCaskey that, hey, the defense has been fine this year, which lately, we'll say they haven't, but the defense has been fine. It's the offense that's the problem. We got to make a change at offensive coordinator and things will be better. Then he buys himself the rest of the season. And that's exactly what he did. Now, I thought that they both should have been fired. I thought that they both should have been done and that's it. And you move on, right? Because this ship is sinking and it's sinking really fast. But clearly, the Bears want to continue with their tradition and, not fire a head coach in the middle of the season, which I think is just, it's truly disgusting. It's not 1930 anymore. We need to actually adjust and adapt with the times. And when things aren't working and you have a number one overall quarterback, let's not continue to destroy his confidence and make him get hit and take sacks and, have the crowd booing him because we suck and things like that. So I think that the Shane Waldron firing is a step in the right direction, but I think that it's also putting a Band-Aid on a much bigger issue, a much bigger problem, and the bigger problem is Matt Eberflus. He's lost the team. The guys don't want to fight for him anymore, and we see that on the field every single week. And watching the film last night, there's a lot of plays where there's a lot of lack of effort, confusion, guys dropping the balls, just lack of effort. I think that Tyke Tolbert, the receivers coach, he needs to go. After analyzing the film last night, the receivers don't get open on a lot of the plays. Out of the 9 sacks that I watched in the film, I would say there were probably 2, maybe 3 that were on Caleb Williams, where he could have, got the ball to a check down or got out, extended the plays, used his leg, whatever. And the rest were coverage sacks, meaning that the guys were not open and pressure got through and he just went down. The receivers aren't getting open on a lot of the plays, and the effort's not there. There's a lot of plays where DJ Moore is taking plays off, and that's extremely concerning because he just got signed a huge extension, right? So if we're paying guys all this money for them to then just half-ass the games each week, that not only looks terrible, but it also increases the chances of our rookie quarterback getting hurt because he's expecting guys to get open and do their jobs, and then when they're just kind of jogging and not putting in full effort, that's when the sacks really come about, right? So there's a lot of problems. It all starts with the head coach, right? Um, and there's reports coming out today that there's a couple of veteran players that want Caleb to be benched. That's just insane to me. I believe that if you were to bench Caleb Williams, I don't even know where you go from there, right? Um, it's just the way that this has been done is extremely frustrating. It's extremely frustrating, and I think that a lot of the fans saw this back in January. After the loss to the Packers, we realized that, Justin Fields was going to be traded. We were going to be taking Caleb Williams, and that the correct path was to start fresh with a new coaching staff. But Ryan Poles wanted to build on continuity and continue. And this is what's really frustrating, right? Because a lot of the fans saw that, knew it was the wrong choice, but the people that are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to do this full time as their job didn't see that. They were baited by the fact that the Bears had a very easy schedule in the second half of the year last year and were able to string together a bunch of wins against bad teams to really kind of create this mirage, this deception that they were actually, not that terrible of a team, that they were, 1 or 2 games away from making a wild card spot. When in all reality, we knew that the Bears were really bad last year. They just, were fortunate with the back half of the schedule. And this year, the schedule was pretty easy the first half of the year, right? They lost to Indy, a team they should not have lost to, and they barely beat Tennessee, right? But they then went on the 3-game win streak, and I admit, I bought into the hype. I thought, okay, Caleb was looking great, the offense was looking great, and the team was, a well-oiled machine. And then they started playing against the good teams, and they had the Hail Mary happen, and now they look lost and they don't have any plan going forward. And the problem now is they have the toughest remaining schedule in the league by a mile. They have all 6 NFC opponents. They've got San Francisco and they have Seattle left. So they might not win another game. So Matt Eberflus can't then just, create this mirage by winning against bad teams the rest of the year because they're all good teams, right? So we're going to see this team probably end up with double-digit losses unless this Shane Waldron firing ignites the entire team, which I hope it does, right? But he can't escape this time. Matt Eberflus cannot escape this, and it's extremely concerning because we're going to go down the same path, right? We're going to go down the same path of rookie quarterback with a coach, fire the coach, second-year quarterback with a new coach. We're doing that again with a third straight quarterback that we've drafted. First Mitch, then Justin, and now Caleb. So when you keep doing the same things and they don't work, that's the definition of insanity. And that's really what the Bears are. They are insane because they keep doing the same things. They keep doing the wrong things. They don't know what to do. And it all starts with ownership. It all starts with Virginia and George McCaskey. The Bears haven't won a game since George took over in 2011. And a playoff game, excuse me. Feels like they haven't won a game since 2011. They haven't won a playoff game since 2011. And yet, they're worried about building a new stadium. Team sucks. They're getting booed every week at home. But let's get the new stadium in. Because all the McCaskies care about is money. They don't care if the team's good. Because that's with Chicago, right? And I play into this. I'm also at fault. The fans go to the games. We go to the games despite the team being bad. I went to a game last year, and I went to a game at Lambeau last year. The year before that, I went to like 3 or 4 games. Team's been bad. But I keep going because I like going to the games. And that's all that matters to George McCaskey. As long as the money's rolling in, that's what happens. And you won't get what just happened with the White Sox, where the fans will stop going to the games. That will never happen with the Bears. The team can be 0-16 going into the final week of the season, and there would still be a ton of fans at the game. That's just the way Chicago works. So I'm extremely concerned with the path forward. I'm extremely concerned with the fact that there's players on the team wanting Caleb Williams benched. I'm extremely concerned with the fact that Matt Eberflus is still my head coach. And I'm extremely concerned that the Packers are coming into town this week because they're going to whoop us. They're going to whoop us bad. And that's it. As always, I appreciate you guys listening, tuning in, hanging out with me in the den. If you're here, please hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 100 subscribers. We are so close. I appreciate you guys listening, as always. And, we'll just do our best, continue to carry hope, and see where the rest of this second half of the season takes us. As always, thank you guys. Bear down. We'll see you in tomorrow's Power Rankings video. Peace.